This is Opinion House Media.
A court in Vietnam has sentenced a property tycoon to death over her role in a $12.5 billion, amounting to 1.6 trillion Kenyan shillings, financial fraud case, the country's largest on record. Now, Truong My Lan, chair of major developer Van Tin Pat, was found guilty of embezzlement, bribery, and violations of banking rules at the end of trial in Ho Chi Minh City on Thursday, according to the state media. Now, her lawyers now have 15 days to appeal the verdict. The 67-year-old illegally controlled the Saigon Joint Stock Commercial Bank between 2012 and 2022 to siphon the funds through thousands of ghost companies and paying bribes to government officials. Now, the value of her alleged asset appropriation was equivalent to about 3% of Vietnam's gross domestic product in 2022, and prosecutors said they seized more than 1,000 properties belonging to her. Now, Lan had denied the charges leveled against her, instead blaming subordinates in her final remarks in the court last week, where she said she had thoughts of suicide. Now, the court attributed its harsh sentence to the seriousness of the case, saying Lan was at the helm of an orchestrated and sophisticated criminal enterprise that had serious consequences with no possibility of the money being recovered, as reported by the VN Express state media. Now, her actions not only violate the property management rights of individuals and organizations, but also push SCB into a state of special control, eroding people's trust in the leadership of the party and the state. Now, Lan's arrest on October 2022 was among the most high-profile in an ongoing anti-corruption drive that started in 2016 and has picked up pace since 2022. The so-called Blazing Furnace campaign has touched the highest echelons of Vietnamese politics, with the presidents and two prime ministers having resigned in the recent years and hundreds of officials disciplined or jailed. Now, Lan's husband, Hong Kong investor Eric Chu Nap Ki, was one of the 86 on trial after being accused of setting up fake loan applications to withdraw money from the Saigon Bank, in which he owed a 90% stake. Wow. Now, Lan's niece, Truong Hu Van, who was the CEO of Van Tin Phat, was another top figure on trial. The Tan Nien newspaper reported that 84 defendants in the case received sentences ranging from probation for 3 years to life imprisonment. Now, Michael Tatarsky, host of Vietnam Weekly podcast based in Ho Chi Minh City, said Lan and her family have been highly obscure despite their vast wealth, with very little information or pictures of them publicly available. Now, Tatarsky said that this is one of the largest financial crimes in the world history, let alone in Vietnam. This has meant that unprecedented details of corruption cases are being published and scrutinized by the state media. Wow, indeed, this is a case that has never been before. Now, of course, that's what we had in store for you right here in Opinion House Media. I'm your host, as you know, Jojo Tyra.